Joan Baez is with us. I can't tell you how pleased and excited I am to meet you at last. I've been such an admirer of all that you do, musically and socially.
Well, I'll see what I can do to wreck that.
Yeah. You got a brand new album.
I do.
At first for 10 years? Just about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Obvious question. What inspired you to now do another album? And what's the inspiration behind the album?
I think that realizing that the touring, the sort of endless slogging kind of touring is going to come to an end. And I started thinking about that this would be a good time, you know, to put a bookend to the beginning, which was 1959. And as it turns out, these songs are little powerhouses. You know, there were 3 more of them that we could have put on, but this group was really the cream of the crop. So,
and it was you got people that you knew and love and respected to write the songs for you.
Only one was written right now specifically for me, and others, I mean, for instance, it started by going back to Tom Waits' material, because I was acquainted with it and I knew there would be something there for me.
He's a brilliant writer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And Josh Ritter, I asked if he'd write me something, and he wrote The Silver Blade, which is, you know, the first album. There was a song called Silver Dagger, and this is almost like an extension of it, a ballad.
So you're talking like this feels like a sort of a bookend for you, not recording wise, but as far as touring goes. Is that how you feel?
Well, the touring is definitely reaching the bookend level, but when I say I'm quitting formal touring, it means the touring that goes on for 6 weeks, and then the bus, and then the rehearsal. Yeah, and I tend to forget that I'm not 45 or 55 or 65 anymore, you know, and it's time to, and plus I want to paint and I want to do other things. So
the song I just heard you rehearsing, and it is stunning. It's called The Last Leaf, and it's a Tom Waits song.
Yeah, it's a Tom Waits song.
And why were you drawn to this?
Why was I drawn to it? Because you have to laugh, but it's also true. I mean, I think it's about aging gracefully and with humor. Yeah. Because he's got some funny lines in it, you know, but you know, I've been around, and I do greet all the new ones that are coming in green, you know.
We'll be talking more about that in the second hour, but I'd love to hear this song if that's okay.
I'm the last leaf on the tree. Autumn took the rest, but it won't take me. I'm the last leaf on the tree. When the autumn wind blows, they've already gone. They've fluttered to the ground, 'cause they can't hang on. And there's nothing in the world that I ain't seen. I greet all of the new ones that are coming in green, and I'm the last leaf on the tree. The autumn took the rest, but it won't take me. I'm the last leaf on the tree. Well, they say I've got staying power here on the tree. I've been here since Eisenhower, and I've outlived even he, and I'm the last leaf on the tree. Autumn took the rest, but it won't take me. I'm the last leaf on the tree. Well, I fight back the snow, and I fight back the hail. Nothing makes me go. I'm like some vestigial tale, and I'll be here through eternity. If you want to know how long, if they cut down this tree, I'll show up in a song, and I'm the last leaf on the tree. The autumn took the rest, but it won't take me. I'm the last leaf, I'm the last leaf, I'm the last leaf on the tree.
Brilliant. Joan Baez, Last Leaf on the Tree. That's from the brand new album, Whistle Down the Wind, which is out on March the 2nd. And Joan will be having more of a chat in the second hour.
All right.
So since 1959, you've been performing.
Yes, I have.
And you've pretty well done as much as one can do. Wouldn't you say? Last year you got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I know, isn't that a riot?
One of the most important things, we'll get on to talking about your music and your social conscience, shall we put it that way? But it's the way you've influenced and you've mentored other acts coming through. There's a lovely line in that song that you performed. Where is it? The Last Leaf. I greet all the new ones that are coming in green.
Yeah.
We had Mary Chapin Carpenter on the show, and she said when she grew up she wanted to be you.
She and you know, if you're not co-mentoring, it probably doesn't really count, because I mean, when I heard the song that I do on the album, The Things That We're Made Of, I heard her do it. It was so brilliant and so beautiful, and I started to weep, of course, and I went up and hugged her, and I said, I want that song. And she said, of course. I mean, that's her song. And then the question was, could I make it mine? Because she says such a beautiful version of it. So she gave me that. You know, I did. I took it. I didn't know how to play. I can't play the way she does. So I just went in the studio with the musicians. I said, well, let's do this. And so you can't, I mean, it was really 50-50, whatever I gave her. Yeah. Stones in the road, you know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. So when you see a great talent, a great new talent, do you feel kind of duty-bound? I mean, you did it most famously with Bob Dylan.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody wants me to help them out and I think that it's really worth it, I would certainly give it a try. On the other hand, there are a lot of young writers who need advice, and I'm not very good at that. You know, I mean, because I didn't have to do anything when I started out. I didn't have to go to open mics. I didn't, you know. So to kind of help somebody.
So how did it happen for you then at the beginning?
Well, I guess I was singing in a coffee shop in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and somebody said, you want to come to this folk festival? Well, it was the first Newport Folk Festival ever, because it had always been a jazz festival. Yeah. And so I went, and I was introduced on stage by a man named Bob Gibson, who played the guitar, and I sang a couple of duets with him, and it just took off. You know, and the next day it was Time magazine, and I mean literally in 24 hours. Yeah,
well, I suppose because you were the avant-garde, you were the forefront of that whole folk movement that was so pivotal in America.
Yeah,
I mean, not only musically but socially.
Well, see, that's why I accept happily the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame award, because I'm aware that I was a link, you know, between the very, very beginning, which was folk, and then this whole period of political consciousness that came about. I was trying to deal with those things at the same time. And then as we moved along and went from counterculture to culture, a next step was into rock and roll. And I wasn't a rock and roller, but I know I was part of that.
You were absolutely, and very famously, you were at one of the most important rock and roll events, the Woodstock concert. Are you aware of the influence that you would be having on the audiences there, on what your social conscience was telling you was right and what was wrong, and proselytizing about that?
Yeah. I know because people all my life have come up and said something, and very seldom does anybody say something about just the voice. What it's meant to them has been the activism plus the music, and usually gives people a little tweak, you know, reminding them what they used to do, what they could do again now. And so, yes, I mean, I know from responsive people.
And what do you think led you down that road? The road where you have to speak about what you find
I think
is
my family
unjust?
became Quakers when I was 8 years old, and a Quaker is very serious about not killing anybody. So that gets you in trouble right off the bat, you know. So a social awareness from when I was really young. And, well, I guess the first demonstration I did with other people was against bomb shelters, and my dad was there. So it's in my DNA.
I'd love to know what your perspective is now. When you started on this road of active questioning governments, questioning what the Americans were doing, the civil rights movement has had huge successes. So you see what you did has changed, has helped to change, make a sea change in society. And yet there are still things that have to be talked about, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, and
That
then
have to
there
be
were these
changed.
weird backlashes. Like, you know, there was this extraordinary thing of Obama, black man as a president, and then lo and behold, the Tea Party developed basically, I think, the roots of that are people who couldn't stand to have a black man, first of all, anywhere near them, but not in the White House.
You think that's still an issue in America?
Oh, yes, very much so. I mean, all the people who were ticked off when civil rights was centered on the successes, and I Had a Dream, and, you know, and integrating the lunch counters and all, it was all happening in, for me, what was our favor, and the favor of human beings in general. But this whole time steaming under there were these people who hated us and hated the blacks. And then all of a sudden, here was this black guy in office, and I think they couldn't stand it. And then the Conservative Party just, I think it was just thrown, and they spent their entire time trying to block anything Obama said or did.
Listen, wonderful, wonderful. Good luck with "Whistle Down the Wind," the new album. You're out on tour. You're going to be you're doing Europe at the moment, aren't you? So you're going to be in the UK, starting March the 13th in York. Then you go to Birmingham and Glasgow and Edinburgh and Dublin, Bristol, Manchester.
Oh, geez, I'm exhausted.
I know. No wonder you're trying to bring it down. And you reckon this will be the last time you do an extended tour
I
like
think
this?
I think so.
Well,
So,
thank you for sharing your gifts with us
Thank
so
you very
generously.
much.
And you're going to do one of my
The
favourites.
other one.
The other one, Diamonds and Rust. Thank you, Joan.
Well, I'll be damned. Here comes your ghost again. And that's not unusual. It's just that the moon is full and you happen to call. And here I sit, hand on the telephone, hearing a voice I known a couple of light years ago, heading straight for a fall. Well, as I remember, your eyes were bluer than robin's eggs. My poetry was lousy, you said. And where are you calling from? A booth in the Midwest. And 50 years ago, I bought you some cufflinks, and you brought me something. And we both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust. Well, you burst on the scene, already a legend, the unwashed phenomenon, the original vagabond. You strayed into my arms, and there you stayed, temporarily lost at sea. The Madonna was yours for free. Yes, the girl on the half shell would keep you unharmed. Now I see you standing with brown leaves falling all around, snow in your hair. Now we're smiling out the window of that crummy hotel over Washington Square. Our breath comes out white clouds, mingles and hangs in the air. Speaking strictly for me, we both could have died then and there. Now you're telling me you're not nostalgic. Well, give me another word for it. You who are so good with words and at keeping things vague. 'Cause I need some of that vagueness now. It's all come back too clearly. I once loved you dearly, and if you're offering me diamonds and rust, well, I'll take the diamonds.
And I feel like I've got the diamonds. Joan Baez, what a privilege. Thank you, my lovely.
Thank you very much.